Hello, happy Saturday, everybody. I just thought I would jump on this evening. I am committed to doing YouTube lives at different times of the day so you guys can join and have a chance to answer questions. Because if you don't know anybody who's a member of our channel, if you subscribe to be a member, you get priority when you ask a question in the lives. So yeah, welcome guys, welcome. Andrew's working late, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to hop on and talk law of assumption with everybody. So I am answering your questions. Hey, John, how are you? I'm answering your questions. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Hi, Chantel. Hey, Daniel. Hey, guys, we have a lot of new subscribers. So I just like to welcome the new subscribers and thank our regular subscribers. Some of you guys have been with us since the beginning, and it's an absolute honor that you trust what I say and that I've had, an impact on your lives. And, and I really, really, really appreciate that. I was scrolling TikTok the other day, and I don't know how I ended up on this video. Obviously, it's me pushed out. I created it, but somebody was talking about law of attraction and saying that everyone was a mirror, of you. So if someone was dishonest, that means like there's some part of you that's dishonest. And I was like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, why even create some kind of belief that you're not good enough, that you're anything less than perfect, whole, and complete? Like, wow. It's like, I've had people, lie to me or be dishonest or steal, and I've never stolen from anybody. It's like, if with that theory, that working theory and that working belief, basically, if the world's corrupt, then you're corrupt. Now, you can be perfect, whole, and complete like you are and just have really bad assumptions about people. That's no problem. That, that's coming from the stance that you are perfect, whole, and complete, right? So yeah, anyways, I was surprised to see that. And I thought, wow, I need to do more videos on everyone is you pushed out. So I don't know if you guys seen my videos recently. I'm going to share a little success story of mine that actually happened. It was so funny and so unintentional. So me and Andrea were going on a vacation, and he was packing his luggage. I was packing mine. Now, I got this like nice pink, kind of like reddish floral luggage. Really love it. Anyway, but it's a hard shell. Pardon me. I'm drinking club soda, so I don't know why I drink things with bubbles on lives, but I do. So anyways, I'm packing the luggage, and Andrew's packing his, and his luggage has that extender in it, that you can like zip up and unzip. And I was looking, and I was like, I was like, I kind of want new luggage. I want an extender on mine, right? Didn't think much of it. Packed up, went on our flight. On the way home, we were sitting in the lounge, right, waiting for a plane, and the airline that we flew with actually sends you updates about your luggage. And I got an update saying Andrew's luggage was being boarded. Okay, great. And when it was like 20 minutes, and like I heard nothing about mine, and I'm thinking, oh, I intend my luggage makes it there. I intend it gets to my destination, because I still had one more night in a hotel before we got home. So I needed some stuff in that luggage, right? Anyway, so so that's fine. Finally, it gets on the plane. I'm like, okay, thank God it's on the plane. So we take the plane, we go, and then we get there, and then I get my luggage, and basically the airline, I guess the luggage got stuck in a machine, and it basically like almost ripped the wheel off. Like it was a hard shell. Like you could stick your finger right in and feel the inside of the luggage. So I was going to keep the luggage, and Andrew was like, well, you can't really use it because it's not waterproof anymore. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're right. And he's like, what happens, if it does get stuck again? And I'm like, that's true. And the plastic was actually bent down, and I'm like, well, that'll scratch your truck and stuff. So I was like, that's fine. I'll get another one. He's like, no. He's like, call the airline. So I was like, okay. So I called the airline, and I made a claim, and they're like, take pictures of the bag. I even basically took pictures of all the damage, that because one plane, like airline actually threw my luggage off of the plane, put a big dent in the top corner. I don't know. I took a picture of it all, but I was like, it all happened, fix my luggage. No questions asked. They basically replaced it, and I got my new luggage within 2 weeks. And guess what? It was nicer than the one I had, and it was expandable. So, it's the bridge of incidents, because when the dent happened in the top from this other airline and I complained about it, I basically saw them right when I got off the plane and they were like, no, we're not going to give you anything for it. And I basically fought tooth and nail for like this $150 credit. And so this time, that's why I was sort of reluctant. I didn't want to like fight with the airline. And Andrew's like, no, he's like, just change your story, call them. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to call them. I'm going to get what I want, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I made, that luggage being damaged into a bridge of incidences by, basically making intentions and saying how it was going to go. Right. So basically how it all worked out was I wanted new luggage. I made that intention. The universe wrecked my current luggage and then the airline had to replace it. So I got new luggage absolutely for free. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool story. And it kind of shows everything's a bridge if you make it into a bridge by saying, okay, this is going to get me closer to what I want, whatever happens, you want a new paint job on your car, right? And then all of a sudden, something happens and you get in an accident, it needs to be fixed. Okay, heaven forbid, I intend everybody's always safe. But then boom, there's the opportunity to get the new paint job for free even, right? So yeah, anyway, luckily I wasn't sad about the luggage because I wanted new stuff anyway. So I was kind of getting bored of looking at it, and like, I think like a shampoo bottle exploded in there on one trip. The luggage was just ready to go. So I don't know if anyone cleans the inside of their luggage, but it was like, nah, let's get a new one. Anyway, guys, hello, welcome. Good turnout this evening. Let's take a look. Hey, Amanda, what tips do you have for navigating the transition period? So I'm not quite sure what transition period you're talking about. So I'm going to share my story of my transition period from when I was dating Andrew to when we moved in together. And I don't know if you guys have heard this story. You probably have. So I've told it before, but it's a really good story about how to deal with the 3D when in your mind you're wanting one thing, but your 3D is giving you another. So I remember it so clearly. It was a Sunday night and I thought, you know what? This is a great night to tell Andrew, I want to move in with him. We should live together. We've been dating for like nearly a year now. It's time in my mind. Anyways, I sit down and I present this to him and he's just like, no. Like crying, I'm bawling. I'm like, no. And he's like, and I'm like, why? And he's like, well, I was previously married. I don't want to do that again. I like what we're doing. And so at one point I had told him to leave. And then, he's like, do you really want me to leave? And I'm like, actually, no, I don't. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm okay with it. If you don't want to move in together, I'm like, I'd rather not lose you. Like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so the evening goes on, we watch some TV, right? And then so I think to myself, I was like, okay, well, you know what? Because we had the relationship talk, right? And it did kind of like put a wedge in between us a little bit, but I got the valuable information that, he was previously married and had baggage and didn't want to do that again. So basically what ended up happening for the next 5 days, he was actually condo shopping for himself and he was taking me with him. So now he just basically rejected me and said he didn't want to move in with me. He's picking me up every day after work, taking me condo shopping for him and basically making me look at condos just for him. Okay, so you know what? Instead of like freaking out and just like totally reacting, I was like, no, that's fine. And I went with him. And the whole time, every time I thought about it, I'm like, no, he's over his baggage and he's ready to move in with me because I'm good enough. And then as we were looking at all these different condos, I was like, you know what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put my bed there. That's going to be my side of the closet. And in my mind, I was just pretending it was me. And if he asked me, like, what'd you think? And I said, well, you know what? If I lived here, I wouldn't like that the garage is right there, blah, blah, blah. Like I was just like basically pretending in my mind that it was going to be me. But at the same time, just playing it chill and cool with him because, it's like he wasn't ready. And I know he wasn't ready because of obviously my assumption. So, doing anything other than, respecting what the 3D was showing and just accepting it. But in my mind, starting to change it. So we kept doing this for 5 days, looking at these condos and, I just kept playing it cool and, changing the story in my mind. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to do this for a while. And if I do it for too long and I get sick of it, that's fine. You know what, I'll move on, find someone else. But 5 days later, we were looking at condos again. It was like a Saturday. We were in the pub. We just finished looking at something. We were in the pub and I was on my phone actually. And I was actually answering subscriber questions on the channel and in the comments. And all of a sudden he says, you know what I was thinking? And I said, what? He's like, you're actually not crazy. And yeah, I would like to move in with you. And I was just like, My God, really? I'm like, excuse me. I went to the bathroom and I started screaming like, ah, like I was so happy, right? And then I come back to the table, played it all cool. I'm like, really? So when we started talking about where we're going to move. So in any transition period, anytime that you are where you are and you want to take it to the next level, you have to respect and accept your 3D because it's there. I don't believe in ignoring your 3D per se, because you can't. It's your 3D, it's your previous thoughts. Right now, if you were to say like manifest, okay, let me think, okay, I intend to get $1,000 in the mail, right? And then you get $1,000 in the mail and you have this $1,000 in the mail, like, and now it's cash. Like, you're enjoying that part of your 3D. You're actually, accepting that part of your 3D. Okay. Just because you manifest something you don't like doesn't mean, you can't accept your 3D. You have to still accept it and be happy and grateful for it. Does that make sense? So if you can clarify what your transition period, I am accepting that my SP is on Minecraft 24/7. Oh, but I know she can't obsess over it forever. Exactly. Okay, good. Thank you. A little bit of context. Okay. So accept it. Maybe even, join in to the game, right? Play with them if you can. And then, at the same time, I intend that they put down their game. I intend they get bored of it. I intend they get bored of it and they want to spend more time with me. I intend they make me a priority over that video game. Okay. So accept that 3D reality. And I'll tell you right now, if you guys know me, I am a video gamer. I absolutely love video games. And you know what? I get bored of them. I'll be obsessed like 24/7 and then I'll totally get bored of it. So, it's easy to, so if you can believe that story, absolutely, and they want to spend time with you, right? Let's take a look here. Hello in Malaysia. Oh, that must be morning for you. Let's see here. Yeah, I know my favorite videos are Everyone Is You Pushed Out Too. I did one for this coming, I post every Friday night. So I did one for another Everyone Is You Pushed Out on Friday because I was just like, so I don't understand why people would teach, you that everyone's a mirror. And if they're dishonest, that means you're dishonest. Like, I just can't wrap my head around that theory, like, God bless her, she's trying, but so I was like, I need to do another video. I need to get the word out, right? So an SP story with a bridge of incidents. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. I mean, everything's really a bridge, like it can be, right? So, I mean, get it, believe it or not, when me and Andrew moved in together, okay, now we're living together, and guess what? He doesn't want to get married now. Like, go figure, right? Like, honestly. Okay, but no, seriously, we lived together for 5 years, and here I am climbing up that hill now, And so, what I kept doing was saying, well, it's like we're already married anyway, so of course he's gonna, marry me. It's like we live common law, which we're pretty much married, so he's gonna be ready to marry me. So, anything could be a bridge, right? So I intend that some of the coaches on here do a success story with a bridge of an instances with an SP. I mean, anything's a bridge when you look back, right? So yeah, let's take a look here. So I'm hoping my dealership approves car repairs under warranty. Oh yeah, I intend to. And you know what? Like, persist. Go to the manager. I've got a funny story about that too. So I have this like brand new Dodge Dart. I absolutely love that car. Like, it was a 6-speed. It was so cool. Anyway, they put like these wires on top of the intake manifold, like the hottest part of the engine. Okay, this wire housing with 5 wires that basically like gave the power to the engine. And what happened, and these cars were notorious for this, is they would heat up and then they would basically burn those wires. Okay. So I took the car in, it was still under warranty. And they told me that they wouldn't cover it under warranty because it was basically chewed by a squirrel. And I was like, really? I'm like, well, can you show me where these wires were? So they take me into the, the mechanic area. And this guy's basically taken off the whole top of the engine. And I was like, so you're telling me that this squirrel had a wrench to take off half the engine? Like, and he was like, no, well, the manager said I couldn't have it under warranty. So I was with the mechanic, and the mechanic took it apart. And the mechanic's like, no, like, squirrels can't get to this. And I was like, oh, well, you may want to talk to your service manager. So went back and want to talk to the manager of the dealership, and basically eventually they did cover it under warranty. So with your car repairs under warranty, you know what, go back, you know what, ask for the manager, call up the the head office, right? So intend that you get someone that's going to help. It's funny, so I had to call my credit card the other day, and so I call, and I was like already in a rushy kind of like an upset mood, and anyway, so and they charged me like 18 cents interest on like a zero balance. And I'm like, I'm just annoyed I even need to call about this. Like, are you kidding me? So anyway, so I'm calling, and I get the first guy, and he's like a complete dud, like honestly. So I was like, no, click. All right, I'm like, I intend to get someone that can actually help me. Called the next person. She was wonderful. So, it's like intend whatever action you're going to take is going to work, right? Because sometimes you need to take action in the 3D, but we need to intend that the action that we're going to take is actually going to work. Just like my luggage story, I needed to, intend that the airline was going to replace it, because I already had it with the other airline that I had to fight with for a whole $150 measly credit, which you can't even buy a luggage of my size for, right? So, oh yes, yeah, Andrew does love me, and we're already married. Actually, we are married. We did get married. What was it, 2 years ago now? So that's old news. But for 5 years we lived together, not married. So, but thank you. Yeah, no, we had the engagement was absolutely gorgeous. He actually rented a private chef and like this private, dining room just for us. And actually, Jerry's Adventures, it's on there. Our engagement is on there. It's Jerry with a G Adventures. We post some of our personal videos there. That anyway, it was, and then they lit the like fireplace, but they forgot to open the flue, and like all of it filled with smoke, and the fire alarm was going off. Oh my god, it was so funny. But it was a wonderful thing, and our wedding was amazing, like absolutely amazing. One thing, like I've never been married, this is my first marriage, but one thing I do highly recommend marriage, because it did take our relationship to the next level, because we declared our love for each other in front of everybody. And it was just such a tender, sweet moment, and I've never felt so much joy and love. And it was so cute. Few of the coaches from Create Your Future came out. My family was there. And the safe word to stop me from crying was saying burrito. So and throughout the wedding, whenever I'd start to cry, they'd be like, burrito, burrito, right, to try to make me laugh, right? So I'm intending now to, you are going to get this. Yeah. So I've noticed that when I follow what makes me happy during the day, things manifest fast. What do you think of that? I think that's amazing. And I think that's awesome. And yes, that absolutely works. When you're distracted and you're enjoying yourself, you don't have time to like ruminate and worry. When you're busy, when I'm sitting there looking at the phone, waiting for something to happen, it doesn't happen. It's like trying to watch, the pot of water boil, it just doesn't boil. So no, I think that distraction is a very good thing to do. And I think also too, manifesting in more than one area in your life is also incredibly important. Manifest in many different areas in your life, because if something's not working in one area and then you manifest in another area, that's going to give you that motivation and spark to manifest in the area that you might have a little bit more resistance to. So it all really works together. So yeah. Would you agree that separation is preparation? You know what? I've never been that type of person. I'm not the type of person that says, you know what, I'm just gonna to walk away and like, like for instance, like when Andrew didn't want to move in with me, right? I wasn't like, I had the crossroads was, do I just end this and take a step back and go hide in my little closet and my life and intend, okay? Or do I keep him in my life and enjoy what I have? I'm the type of person where, I don't, pull out. Okay. So I accept. Okay. Because in that moment, where, where you separate, you're sort of resisting your current reality. Do you know what I mean? You're like, okay, Andrew, you don't want to move in with me, so I'm not even going to talk to you. And I'm going to go. Now that just makes it 10 times harder because, naturally you have to date. And then when you date, you move in together. And then when you move in. So like when we were living together for 5 years and he didn't want to get married, I wasn't like, oh, that's it. We're getting married tomorrow or I'm leaving, and I wasn't like, and then I didn't like leave until he changed his mind that he wanted me. I mean, do you want to be with the person or do you want to be married? Like, what is it? Do you just want to be married to anyone? So I don't believe in blocking people and separating. I definitely believe in, accepting what you've created. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in an abusive or, a violent situation, yeah, leave, pack it up, get out of there, get safe. Okay. But I'm just talking about like, somebody is, rejects you or you perceive that they've rejected you. I personally wouldn't block them or leave them or run away because I feel like that makes everything 10 times harder for manifesting them back because now you don't even know what they're doing. They're not even in your life. You don't even have them in your life every day to even start having some of your intentions show up, right? There's that whole barrier that you've created there. Right. So, but you know what? Everyone's strategies is a bit different. Maybe that works for you. It's hard to tell without sitting down and coaching with somebody, because it's your thoughts that create your reality and getting into your head to figure out what you're thinking. I think that was your question, Heather. So much abundance is coming into my life. I love that. You've been doing rampages. They're so good. They're so good. They feel so incredibly good. So yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Did I miss anything here? How would you ignore the 3D if you're no contact with SP? Well, we're not really ignoring the 3D, right? So what we're doing is we're accepting the 3D. So now what I would do is I would start looking at strategies on how to get in contact with your 3D, like your SP again. Okay. So maybe not really strategies, but more like, scenarios. Okay. So I remember I did manifest one of my exes back. So something happened. Okay. And we were like not together for 3 years and I really wanted to be with him. I'd phone him, hear my voice. He would hang up. Okay. And my story was that he blamed me for absolutely everything. And he did not want to get back together with me. So I was like, you know what? I was like, forget it. I'm changing that story. I intended that he takes responsibility for what he's manifested. He takes responsibility for our breakup and for his part in it. He forgives me and he wants to be back together with me. Okay. And then, and that's what I did. And I, kept it like, yeah, we're going to run into each other. So one day, I'm not kidding you. I'm driving in a different town. Okay. Like 2 hours away, but it was a town that we actually originally met in and then we moved. And so I'm back visiting my family and I drive past this Starbucks and lo and behold, who's sitting there? He's sitting there having a coffee. And the way he looked at me when I was driving by him, I realized he does want to talk. So I parked my car, I walked over, and then boom, we basically got back together. So, and basically I had like scripted out and thought about all the different ways that we would meet up again, because for me, thinking he would just call me out of the blue was a little bit far-fetched because he wasn't the type of person to make phone calls or text or anything like that. So, start thinking about all the different ways that you guys can actually start to run into each other again. Maybe you meet through a friend, maybe you see each other on the street. Maybe they do call you. Maybe they slip into your DMs. Just, what, the more scenarios you do, the more options that it has to come in, right? Now, the other thing is like, why are you guys in no contact? Let's revise that story, okay? And this is how all of you guys, I recommend like revising any fight or breakup, okay? My SP is very forgiving and understanding, and they take responsibility for their part in the breakup. In fact, they think it's their fault, and they come to me and apologize to me. Right. Yeah. Mm. Oh my God, Heather, I am so sorry. My condolences. Oh no. I've just been healing since, but very connected to my SP daily. Is my soulmate. Well, and last year is very soon. My stepdad passed. My mom actually That's so funny. We're talking about dad's passing. My stepdad passed about 6 years ago, and my mom just called me about stuff about my stepdad, and to help her deal with some stuff, and to get my advice. But it's never easy. I was really mad at the world and myself for like a couple of years, right? And it's hard to get over. So one day at a time for that. I know. I've heard coaches on the team and in videos say that you can do inner conversations, that they're never really gone. They're still with you in spirit. And I really like that. And I really enjoy that, because, even when they're alive, again, it's all just inner conversations. You know what I mean? So, but, um, yeah. So your SP, you know what? Your SP is over it. He's ready to be back with you. And you know what? He's forgiving and understanding. And he feels like the breakup is his fault. And he is very sorry for that. And you can hear him apologize to you like right now, like, or she, it's happening and it's happening now. Let's go with that. Yeah. I mean, death and manifesting, it is what it is. I remember with my stepdad passing, it was lung cancer. And I don't want to go into detail because I don't want to focus on, health problems, but because I intend we're all healthy. Okay. And so are our friends and family. But there was that point where you're intending that they get better. Then all of a sudden, they're not getting better. And now you're intending it's quick. So, they're not suffering. But one thing that I've always carried with me is that, that's an agreement reality. We're born and we pass. Like that's it. That's the deal. Okay. And that's our belief, right? So, we work within that belief. But if you watch What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole, I don't know if you've seen it. It's a very good movie about quantum physics. And they talk basically on the theory that, nobody's alive and nobody dies because you're not even real. Nobody's even real. You know what I mean? So that one is actually, I would recommend that video. That would help a lot. So you choose what you want to believe. But one thing is for real, but people have said that they've brought people back from the dead and whatnot. If you believe you can do that, absolutely. You know what I mean? Completely up to you, right? So the sky's the limit in your reality, right? Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do it. If you can have a belief that you can do it, then you can, like absolutely. I've had people tell me that it's impossible to manifest an SP. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. For them it is though, right? For them it is, right? So you create within your belief and what you believe to be possible. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Aletha, I know. She's amazing, Heather. Absolutely. Aletha's amazing. All the coaches on the team are amazing. I'll tell you guys right now that I would do coaching with every single one of the coaches on the team right now. They're a strong, strong team, definitely. So Carmel Callie, I do videos every Friday night. I post videos. Every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern is my posting time. And then I also post a lot of shorts as well. So yeah. And then I come on here and do YouTube lives as very much as I can. Hopefully more now. So, oh, that's amazing. I love that. I love that, Heather. You're gonna get your SP. I believe in you. I know you are gonna be successful, right? Yeah, I think that's like, a part of it is just, getting ourselves out of the way, and working on, the fact that, we're good enough. Oh yeah, she is amazing. You're so welcome. I know when it came to me for like coaching and talking about this, I needed to work on my self-concept. But like, for instance, in relationships, I've never had, a self-concept issue. So, when you're manifesting anything, right, you want to take a look at, possibly where things are blocked for you. So for instance, in the relationship, like up until like Andrew and the gentleman before him, I never had a problem getting in a relationship. And I was always the one that did the dumping. And I always had, relationship like crazy. And, you know, when it came to the gentleman before Andrew and Andrew, they were both married. So I was stumped because I knew it wasn't my self-concept, right? And it's funny because I was intending I would figure out what the problem was. And then, Andrew told me that the baggage thing. And then I remember talking to my girlfriend and she said to me, she's like, you know what, Amanda? She's like, you said that we were drinking and we're like 22 and you said that all married men had baggage and you never wanted to have a married man because of that, because they wouldn't want to commit again. And I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I remember saying that. And it was stayed in play from like 22 years old to like 35. So thoughts are things, and the things that we declare and say, whether we actually believe them or not, will stay in play because there was no resistance to that. And so in my relationship, it wasn't a self-concept thing. It was very much, a relationship thing. Now for coaching, I was new at coaching and, and doing this. So it was a bit of a self-concept thing. I'm good enough. I know what I'm talking about. So, where your block lies, and it could be a combination of the two, right? So where your block lies, it's really up to what your thoughts you're having and what your story is. But one thing I want to share with all of you guys that I think is very important that I don't think I've talked about enough, but I'm going to talk about it now, is with everyone as you pushed out, you got to be very careful not to blame yourself, okay? Because if you blame yourself, everybody's going to blame you, right? So as far as everyone pushed out is concerned, is you have to intend the other person takes responsibility. Okay. So yeah, you have a breakup and you want to get back into contact. Okay. I intend my SP takes responsibility. I intend my SP apologizes to me. I intend that they're very forgiving and understanding. Okay. And, so if you blame yourself because you think you've created it, well, you did create it. Okay. Your thoughts created it, but don't blame yourself for it. This isn't the blame game. Okay. Your assumptions, because they think it's their idea. So whether you're intending that they take responsibility for it and they apologize to you, they think that's their idea. If you're sitting around going, oh, I manifested this, so it's all my fault, they're thinking, and that it's they're thinking, oh, it's all your fault. So be very careful with that, right? Yeah. Let's take a look here. I'm convinced that I manifested my breakup and now I'm trying to manifest him back. I can't seem to get my mental diet right. We're in no contact. Okay. I totally get it. So, with the mental diet, the big thing that I say, okay, is what's your goal? Your goal is right now to get back into contact, right? So ultimately you guys want to be married, I'm assuming. And then, before that is maybe living together or getting engaged and vice versa. But right now it's, getting back into contact after a breakup. Okay. So we're going to be doing revision here. Okay. So what you're going to say is, I intend, that my SP takes responsibility. They're very forgiving and understanding, and they want to be back with me. That, our fight, the breakup was no big deal, and they're very sorry. And I can hear them tell me that. Okay. And then to get straight on your mental diet, right? So write out all of your complaints right now. Why aren't you guys together? Oh, they said it was my fault. They said they would never forgive me. Okay. So write all these negative things down and then take them and change them. Okay. He'll never forgive me too. He's very forgiving and understanding. He says it's all my fault. No, he takes responsibility for his part in this. Okay. He never wants to be with me again. I can hear him tell me that he wants to be with me and apologize for the breakup. And then you take that brand new list that you've created and you read it 3 times a day. Okay. Because when you first start a mental diet, you're going to get static. It's going to hurt. If you're shifting. So basically, if you think of it this way, your thoughts are like walking on a path and you wear down the path. Okay. And your thoughts just become easy. Boom, 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 boom. You have one thought and it goes to the next, goes to the next, because you've created that thought pattern. Okay. So you're with a mental diet, you're trying to break that thought pattern. So it's going to be a little bit like, ugh. So when you read out those intentions 3 times a day, you're going to get fluent. You're going to be good at them. And then you're going to find it a lot more easier to stay on your mental diet. Okay. So, I would definitely recommend that. Yeah. And I intend that you let us know how that goes, because I believe in you. And you can also say right now, it's easy to stay on my mental diet, and I find it easy. Yeah. Oh, Heather, thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. Okay. So, thank you. The YouTube shorts. I try to make them as best I can, a little snippet here and there. I'm pretty much to the point though, so I intend I intend to help everybody. It was funny. I was recording some in the car when Andrea was driving, and I happened to see one today on TikTok. And when I recorded it, I thought I was talking all funny and whatever and not making any sense. But then when I watched it back today, I was like, oh, wow, that sounded really good. I'm like, that's not how I thought it sounded when I recorded it. So let's take a look. Chantel, I know we create our future good and bad, but is there a way to prevent negativity in the future from manifesting due to our negative thoughts that we've had in the past? That's the thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't see anything as positive or negative. It doesn't. It's just your genie in the bottle. You have a thought, right? When you have a thought, I say, don't think of a blue duck. What's the first thing you just thought of? A duck. Maybe it had gum boots on, maybe it was purple, but you thought of a duck, okay? Because your subconscious mind will make a picture of anything you think, okay? Your subconscious mind doesn't say, oh, this is good, this is not good. It doesn't know good from bad. It doesn't know positive from negative. All it's doing is taking orders from your conscious mind, your thoughts, So you have to gatekeep your own thoughts for the most part. But you know what you can say, and I'm not sure, this can be, okay, so you can say, I intend only my positive thoughts manifest. I find it easy to always think positive. People have that belief that, anything you worry about never really, shows up anyway, and it doesn't. So, start creating that, right now. But I think the main thing is, if something negative does show up, not making it a big deal. Okay. Just as quickly as it showed up, it can go away. Right. So, every morning, everyone's safe and happy. Today, only good, positive things are going to happen. None of my negative thoughts ever manifest. Only my positive ones do. Every day is a good day. Everything that happens today is going to make me feel good. And focusing on that. Right. And then if something does happen to slip through, not a big deal. Thank you, negative thought. I know I still manifest. This is what I want instead. That's what's going to change, right? So, yeah. Let's take a look. So, what advice would you give to those who feel like they've been manifesting new love for a while now? Well, first of all, never give up. Okay. You're always manifesting. I wouldn't, manifest in other areas of your life. When you're manifesting in more than one area, it'll give you hope and excitement. So, you might be like way easier to manifest in another area of your life. So for instance, the other day I was like thinking about something I felt that was just like so difficult. I was dealing with something and I was like really on the verge of meltdown. It was just really difficult for me. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I just need something, I need something. And anyways, I'm playing my little video game, right? And in my video game, I want this little backpack that has like this little teddy bear sticking out, right? It's like a little gorilla teddy bear, like so cute. And it's got like binoculars and whatever. So I'm like, I want this backpack, right? It's called Gorilla Backpack. And I've been looking for it for a while. And so I'm having this bad day and I'm kind of like not really into my game. So like in this game, you can kind of like go shopping with vendors, like at other people's, like other players can sell stuff. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go shopping this afternoon in my game. So all of a sudden I start shopping and I look at this one vendor and I was like, oh, I'm like, they've got a lot of like, plans, right? And you need the plan to build this thing. So I'm like, I bet you they're going to have my backpack plan there for cheap. Sure enough, I went to their camp. Guess what? Their vendor, they had that exact thing. I was like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, that other thing is not a problem because, I had that little burst of, oh my goodness, you know what? This is real. So, when you create these little things to go on and you have these little successes, when you have that moment of, oh my goodness, how you feel when you manifest something in that moment, start nailing your intentions at whatever you're having, a resistance with, okay? Because you're in that mood that anything is possible. It's like, okay, SP, guess what? Blah, 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 blah. You know what? You're mine. When you do it from that, like, state, that feeling, that emotion, it's so incredibly powerful. So manifest in other areas of your life. So we're not just hyper focused on one area. Be successful all around, put a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah. What's your daily routine when you're trying to saturate yourself with the feeling? Is it saying affirmations in the morning and sats before sleeping? Okay, so I actually don't do sats. I don't script either. What I do is, I do a mental diet throughout the day a lot. And I keep on top of my thoughts. And so basically, anytime I think about something, I'm really disciplined. I'll be like, okay, I'll think about our clients, right? I'll see someone email in and, for a session, and Brandy, our receptionist, she answers them. But I look at the email and I'm like, you know what? I intend that they're successful. I intend they have a great session. I intend that they get results, and they manifest their whatever they're looking to manifest, whether it be SP, right? And then I'll be walking around, right? And then I'll look at Andrew and I'm like, okay, you know what? I intend we have a good day today, that, we have fun, and I intend blah, 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 and then I'll go and, do some banking and I'll make some money goals, or, I'll be like cooking dinner and, and I'll be like, well, I intend this food nourishes my body. So I do everything I do very consciously and very intentionally. I don't let myself just go on blah, 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 air, like autopilot. So like, for instance, I don't know if you guys have ever been driving and then all of a sudden, you know what, you're driving home from work and all of a sudden you're home and you're like, wow, I don't even remember driving here. Well, that's because you're in a trance state and you were like basically somewhere else. You weren't present in the moment. So I try very hard to keep myself present in the moment and make sure everything that I'm doing is intentional. I'll try a new recipe. I love cooking and I'll be like, I intend this turns out really, really good. And I'll make it. And then all of a sudden I'll try it. I'm like, oh my God, this is good. And she's like, why are you so surprised? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I just intended it would be good. Right. So I do everything intentional. So I hope that helps. I mean, in the morning, I do my intentions. I wake up and you know what, today is going to be a great day. And, and I go over sort of, the big things that I'm manifesting. I also too, like I was manifesting something. So I was trying to like get some advice on something and I was calling up people and nobody wanted to, like, I was calling lawyers and no lawyer wanted to give me any information about it. And I was so frustrated. I even said to one lawyer, I'm like, look, I will pay you like whatever your hourly rate is. I just need some advice on this. And he was like, no, we don't do it by the hour. You've got to get the package. And I was just like so frustrated. I got off the phone and like, Andrew said something and I just burst into tears. Like, I was just like, I was just so stressed out. And then I was like, I like cleaned up my tears. I was like, no. I'm like, this is what's going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. Someone's going to help me. I'm going to get the information I need. I intend to understand this, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I'm not kidding you, I called a lawyer and it was like, they were like 5 hours ahead of me. They actually called me back 9 p.m. their time, like about half an hour after I finished having a meltdown. And she stayed on the phone with me for an hour and a half and gave me all the free information I could possibly want, to the point where I was trying to get off the phone and she wanted to keep talking. And I basically got all of my questions answered. I felt like I knew what was going on, what my, what I needed to do, this, that. And it was amazing, So, it's okay if you react. It's okay if you have a meltdown. The point is get back on it. A lot of the times our biggest breakthroughs come from breakdowns, right? And we just got to get that stress out, and I was crying and I heard myself in my head think, nobody wants to help me. And I was like, Amanda, seriously? Everyone's you pushed out. Why would you say that? But that's what I was crying over for a moment, right? So as for my routine, I just really try to stay intentional all day. I wake up, I make some goals, I think about things, and I do that sort of thing. So I intend that helps. But you know what? Anything, I like courses too. Like anything that keeps you on track, is so incredibly important. So like we've got courses and people love them because it's like, a 40-minute course of, education, a workbook where you're focusing on you. Same thing with our coaching sessions, though that's an hour of your time that we're going to focus on what you want to create in your reality. Right. And the more energy and time you put towards something, the quicker you're going to get it. I know some people say, oh, well, I just one and done. Not when you have resistance. I'm sorry. When you have resistance, you've got to break down that old story and change it. It's like the most frustrating thing I've heard people say, well, you know what? No, like on TikTok and whatever, right? You have to intend once. That's it. Intend once and let it go. And then people are like, why isn't it happening? It's been 6 months. I'm frustrated. Well, because we're not putting enough energy in changing the story. It takes work, and I intend all of you guys do a mental diet easily and effortlessly, right? But you know what? It should be fun to focus on what you want. It should bring you joy to sit down and think about what you and your SP are going to do together. It should bring you lots of joy and excitement to think about what you're going to spend your $1 million on, and so a mental diet should bring you joy. I know it's a bit of work at first, but the thoughts that you're entertaining should make you feel good. Right. And, and if you're sitting there cooking and you're thinking, you don't feel good and you're like worried it's going to taste bad, well, then you need to stop, right? Why are you cooking? I intend if my food tastes good, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I like mental diets. It's amazing, and it's just to break it. Like, people in my family, okay, so not mentioning names, Andrew, and some other people, they used to complain about gas prices, right? And it would drive me nuts. Like, I don't want to sit around the family dinner table listening to you complain about gas prices. So, I just kept gently nudging, and now everybody makes intentions that gas is going to be cheap and brag about how cheap they got gas. You know what I mean? It's like so great because it's a lot more fun and it makes everyone feel a lot better. So, yeah. How long did it take me to manifest my relationship with Andrew? And what prompted the intention, if you don't mind answering? So, yeah, if you can just let me know which intention, because I don't mind sharing any part of my life, actually. Neither does Andrew. He's an open book. It was funny when we talked about it after, when he said he didn't want to move in with me, and I made, I accepted my reality, and I kept just, being with him and letting the relationship be the way it was. And I didn't, react or get upset or anything like that. I just kept on my intentions. I asked him, what made you change your mind? And he'll tell you, he said, what made me change my mind was the fact that you were okay with me not wanting to commit to you. He said that scared me, that you were going to go find somebody else because you were okay with it. And you were no longer pining over me, and you weren't like begging me or upset about it. And he's like, and that worried me. And I was like, oh yeah. But it's true. My energy shifted to, okay, I accept this. Okay, no problem. I'm not upset about it. I'm going to respect your decision. And I'm going to go back to the 40 and I'm going to do my little, voodoo in there. I'm going to make my little spells. I'm going to cast my spell. Right. So, so let's see here. How long did it take? So me and Andrew, well, we started dating immediately. So we were dating for like 8 months or something. And then we moved in together and we lived together for 5 years. And then we got married. So yeah, and we've been together, oh my God, about 8 years now. So yeah, something like that. 5, 6, maybe it's a little bit off, but I mean, it took me 5 years living with him to manifest the marriage, but I wasn't really pushing it, or I wasn't in a rush either, because, once we did get engaged, like the wedding happened so fast. And in hindsight, I would have liked a little bit more time to plan my wedding. But for me, moving in together was like the struggle, like, that's what I wanted. I didn't care so much if we got married. I wanted to manifest it, but for me, oh my God, I need this, and I had it on a pedestal, was living together, because honestly, I hate living alone. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I already had that resistance going on as well, because I didn't want to live alone anymore. Right. So yeah. Thank you. I've manifested pretty much perfect health at this point. Which I'm, right now, this is the first time in my life that I can say this. Right now, everything in my life is perfect. My relationship is perfect. My relationship with Andrew, my relationship with my family, his family, my business is great. My health is perfect. Like right now, everything is like dead on excellent. Like I couldn't be happier. So there's nothing I'm struggling with right now. So yeah, let's take a look here. So, what prompted the intention, if you don't mind answering? Well, I mean, I'm not sure what your question is there. So if you can comment that for me. I mean, I don't mind you asking, but I'm not sure what the question is. Basically, not having what I wanted prompted me to do the intentions, really, to be honest, yeah. Yes, I love that. I love it that you feel joy and happiness when you visualize your wedding. And I intend to see you send me a picture of your wedding and in your dress looking all gorgeous and amazing. I think that that would be awesome. I love it when you guys send in success stories. I really do. It's just, I just love to see people successful, and I love making the world a better place. And I'm really honored, that you guys, have me in your lives to help you. So I do appreciate that. Can you make a topic about weed and the effect of marijuana use? Well, you know, it's legal where I live, and in a lot of states and whatnot. I mean, it's completely up to you. I mean, for instance, I know when I was like in this like intense coaching course of, beating everyone as you pushed out into my brain. We weren't allowed to drink or participate in any drugs because, we're trying to change our thinking, right? So for instance, sometimes I've seen in the past, clients don't make any progress because, they would drink enough that they don't remember, or they're not sticking to their mental diet during the time that they're enjoying their beverages, right? So, I mean, it's up to you and your story. I know weed, marijuana isn't the same as alcohol. And sometimes people get paranoid on it, anxious. So it's completely up to you. But I mean, if it works for you, then it works for you, right? If it helps you to, calm down, then it does, right? So you intend whether or not it's going to work for you. The only thing that, that basically your magic wand is your thoughts, right? So whatever helps you to stay more focused is, going to help you all around, right? So completely up to you. Is it weird that after my awakening, I lost myself? I lost the love for myself and lost for all human beings. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that's completely up to you. I mean, you can say, I found myself and I love myself and I love all the human beings. So that's your story. That's your belief, right? What you tell yourself is what's going to be true. You can actually even manifest how you feel. I intend to feel good. I intend to feel happy. I intend to feel satisfied. I intend to feel like I love myself. I intend to feel like I love others, right? So, I don't think that the two are related. I think, you may have manifested that, and that's fine. So, let's see. Can you make, let's see. What's the best way to stop checking the 3D? Yeah, we talked about this a bit earlier, distracting yourself, doing things that you enjoy throughout the day. I really think that that's important, because if you're not trying to watch that, that pot boil, if you're watching it, it's going to take a while. So, and manifesting in other areas of your life too, because that's going to give you confidence to help you not check the 3D, right? And doing the little list of manifestations to build your belief. So if you've got all these things going on, right, you're not hyper focused on this one thing. The other thing that you can say is, what, I'm happy and grateful and satisfied with my life right now. However, I would like to manifest a relationship. It's going to come easily and effortlessly. And then, what, every time you check the 3D, okay, because you can't stop. You just do your intention. So for instance, right, let's go with let's say, I don't know, I'm manifesting, somebody calling me, right, or texting me. So every time I check the 3D and I don't see the text there, I'll say, no, I intend my STP text me because they want to talk to me because I'm good enough. So you create the intention every time you check the 3D, create a mantra, say that mantra from whatever you want to happen. Use that checking the 3D to your advantage to put a little bit more, energy into what you're manifesting. Okay. So guys, we're just getting going here. It's 52 minutes in. But I'll answer one more question and then I must be on my way. Mr. Andrew looks like he's done working now. Okay, and he probably wants to eat dinner because he's been working for 7 hours straight, the life of a lawyer without coming out of his office. No, but you had lunch at 1. Oh, that didn't count. Oh, almost 13 hours straight with a 15-minute lunch break. So anyway, maybe I can convince him to come on and quickly say hi, but he just went into the garage. So you guys are all amazing. One more question here from someone new. Let's take a look. I'm glad this has been helpful. Thank you. So what's the best way to manifest an XVAC? I'm focused on lack. Okay, so again, when you're looking at what you don't have, create the intention. You know, the beautiful thing about lack is you don't know what you want until you don't have it, right? The way you figure out what you want is from what you don't want. That's where we are as humans. The same thing with manifesting. You know, what drives us to manifest? Okay, so I remember, I was like, I quit my job and I reached a milestone in my business, and then I was like, ugh, right? All of a sudden I'm frustrated, and I was like, Amanda, remember, 2 years ago when you didn't have what you have now and you've manifested it? But we're programmed like that to get this burning desire and to not be happy where we are right now. And that's what gives us the drive to manifest something more. So first of all, you say, look, I'm always looking at, the good. I'm always, focused on what I want. And when you notice the lack, that's your cue to do your mantra, do your intention. What do you want to see? Okay. So if you use the lack for your advantage, the lack of something showing up in your 3D, and you think about it, then you just create your intention from there. Okay. And that's gonna, that's gonna get you a lot quicker. So if you think of it this way, right? If you look at the couch, you're like, I don't like it there. And then you just leave it and walk away. What is that changing? Nothing. But if you look at the couch and say, I don't like it there. Okay. That's lack. But then you move it. You're like, okay, I'm going to put it over there. And then there we go. It's happened. You're going to make something happen a lot quicker. Jerry, were you talking about Jerry? Teddy bear? Jerry's here. Anyway, guys. So you know what? Use lack, in noticing lack, to create what you want, as to spark you to create your intention. Okay, that's really the name of the game here, right? And and as far as being in lack, say, look, I'm coming from a state of love. I'm coming from, do your little list as well. I feel like I'm coming from success. Like, if you create a little tiny manifestation and you're feeling really good, you're not in a state of lack. You are in a state of having. So you can do, I feel good about my manifestation. I feel good about my SB calling me. I feel like I'm going to get my intention. When you start creating all of those things, then you start to bring yourself to a state of being powerful and having, the statement, I feel like I can be, do, and have anything I want, is so powerful. Oh, everybody knows you're here. You want to come say hi? Everybody's trying to be so mouse quiet, but Jerry already made a hi. Andrew's going to come say hi. I'm glad you guys found this helpful, and I'm glad you guys are here.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm glad I've helped. And yeah, again, if you want to be a member, but I'll answer anybody's questions on lives for free, member or no member, because I'm here to help you guys. So awesome. Okay, guys, we are going to end it here, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the new subscribers, old subscribers. People have been here for a long time. All the new ones we're getting. Yeah, we're here to help you. And, please send us any success stories that you guys have. So you're welcome. Everyone says, thank you, Andrew. Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.